Sometime during Pichar's animation years, I dug up an old short. It was called The Adventures of André and Wally-B. It was an old CG cartoon. It was the first ever Pichar short ever made. I was allowed to upload the shorts and publish them to the theaters before any movie ever started. But when I was publishing it in New Zealand, before Toy Story began, I accidentally aired the wrong copy. It was in 1991. I was giving one theater in New Zealand a copy, but I got the wrong copy. I published one that really wouldn't have been such a big deal for adults, but if kids saw it, they would have shit themselves over it. After New Zealand confirmed they will publish a new Pichar short in their theater, I handed them a wrong copy. I gave them a copy that began like this. It was a regular sunny day. André was napping. He then woke up and scratched himself. He then yawns and a bee comes up to him. It then cut to a kid arguing to his mom. The mother was pregnant with the children. The boy was no more than 6 years. He was in his room, and the outside was black. It went back to the short. It sort of shacked and twisted. The bee then thumped his nose and the screen began to turn a greenish blue. I was at the theater too, so I wasn't so sure. André points somewhere and he gets a perverted greedy face, and just left. When he blinked he had realistic eyes. It sort of looked like real people's eyes, and his pupils were red. I was confused. Me and the people at the theaters all looked at each other weirded out. When Wally-B looked to see when André left, something flashed through the screen and I didn't know what it was, but it looked like a kid under a slide. He was 4 years old. He looked like he was laughing or giggling. Something similar to giggling. I felt strange inside for some reason. I don't know. I had an irritated feeling. Wally-B then ran up and got mad. André kept running, and then he found out Wally-B was chasing him. He then kept running and it yet again skipped through pictures. This time it was a kid playing in the grass and was playing with his dog. And then it said something in big red letters. You are going to die. It went on for 2 seconds. It then went static for 3 seconds, and bars and tones played. It went back to the cartoon. It was super loud and was super dark. I couldn't see anything but a green rock getting chased by a yellow rock. It was also blurry and in a threshold effect. We then heard weird whispers that said, André, in a deep serious voice. It showed static for about 30 seconds, then I just knew New Zealand was a creepy country. It then showed André stuck under a tree with a needle with green fluids inside it. Wally-B had an evil look on his face. He sort of laughed and André stayed like this until he finds out he is under a giant tree. He begins screaming and struggling. Wally-B had a face like as if he killed someone. André screams so loud it was hard to hear. It zoomed out. Static then played for 30 seconds, then the credits played. Instead of it being the character concept, it was photos of scared children, and the credit signs seemed handwritten in red. I called the short's owner, Pichar, to know about this. They wanted to know what happened when I published it. I told them the disc read T.A.W.W.me, Pichar. They got really upset with effort and apologized that I had to find that copy of the disc, and they smashed all copies from around the world. I always never knew how Pichar came up with the short. They called every theater they could and all theater copies were destroyed. Well, in the meantime we watched it again for Pichar to understand what happened. After the short, we saw commercials before the movie started with Disney interactive trailers, such as Toy Story for Sega, Goof Troop for Super Nintendo, and many others. After the commercials, 1 second of the André and Wally-B short popped up, and it then showed a commercial for an old Mickey Mouse DVD collection, and a Mickey Mouse cartoon played. Then the movie itself began on the spot.